We don't have much to go on when it comes to early life of Davy Jones. We do know that Davy Jones was once a mortal Scottish pirate, but that part of his life is shrouded in mystery. Nevertheless, there is one aspect of Davy Jones that we know with certainty. Davy Jones, above all else, held a deep affection for the sea. It is known that he was a great sailor who fell in love with the goddess Calypso, who was changing, harsh, and untamable as the sea. Calypso rewarded that love by giving Davy Jones the sacred task of collecting all the poor souls who were lost at sea and ferrying them to the other side. Of course, there is a catch. As the designated Charon of the oceans, you must remain tethered to the sea for a period of 10 years. Only then may you set foot on land for a solitary day to reunite with your love. It might appear a hefty price, but to an immortal entity, what significance do days and years truly hold? But after doing his duty over the course of a decade, he returned to land only to find Calypso conspicuously absent. He felt more deeply betrayed than he had ever felt before. This sentiment arose not solely from the apparent abandonment by the woman he had professed his love to, but also from the feeling that he had been deceived into becoming her servant. Because of her betrayal, Davy Jones collaborated with the first brother in court of pirate lords to create a scheme to bind Calypso in human form. This action of Davy Jones led him to an intense sense of remorse for hurting the love of his life. So he carved his heart out of his chest and buried it on the remote island of Isla Cruces, believing that this would dampen the emotional scarring he had caused for himself, but also becoming the one weak spot for his now immortal being. Over time, Jones gradually descended into madness, wielding his newfound power as a demigod who governed the oceans. In the process, he twisted and corrupted his original purpose. By refusing to carry out his ferryman's duties, Davy Jones abandoned the task of escorting souls to the afterlife, leaving them drift aimlessly. He became a crafty reaper, deceiving individuals into spending 100 years of service aboard his ship in order to avoid death, only to have their souls bound to it. After many years of neglecting the task he was given, Davy Jones's appearance began to reflect the beast he'd become inside, the devil of the sea who knew no mercy for the dead or the dying. Now, let's analyze Davy Jones's personality. Davy Jones, for example, has a very disturbed personality. Sadism is like his middle name. Any hint of sympathy or empathy he might have had is long gone. He gets a sick pleasure out of dishing out endless torment to poor souls, tossing them into his locker or forcing them into his crew as a form of cruel punishment. And he doesn't stop there. He's all about causing harm, torture, and even flat out killing folks. Why? Well, according to him, life was a real jerk to him. So why not spread the love in the afterlife too? Now, this dude's twisted sense of humor is something else. He gets a real kick out of making others feel small, finding joy in pushing people to the brink of despair. Yes, he may come across as rather confident, but don't let that deceive you. Davy Jones burns easily. In various instances across both movies, there are moments when he utterly loses control. And let's not forget how Davy Jones talks. He's all about taking his sweet time, speaking slowly and carefully, especially when he's tempting someone to join his crew. So why does he go on this wild rampage? Well, binding Calypso might have given him a temporary sense of revenge, but it didn't fix the deep hurt he felt from her betrayal. His cruelty and rage, it's all a front, a way for him to bury that crushing loss. He puts on this tough act, but it's really just a cover for the pain he's carrying. Sure, he gets a twisted sort of joy out of his terrible actions, but he learned that joy, it's not something that's just built into him. Now, let's talk about how Davy Jones treats his crew. They get zero respect from him. He's all about making their lives a living hell, and he's not shy about ordering or getting in on the torture sessions on his ship. Over his 8 decades reign of terror, this guy probably caused the death and suffering of thousands of folks. But let's get to the real heart of it. Davy Jones never stopped loving Calypso. His sorrow isn't just about her betrayal, it's about the guilt he carries for her being walked away. Even in his final moments with Calypso, he just says, "My heart will always belong to you," revealing the enduring love he holds for her. He poured his heart and soul into something, only to be let down and betrayed in the end. 10 long years, all for a promise that turned out to be hollow. The moving statement, "Life is cruel. Why should the afterlife be any different?" perfectly captures his acceptance of the unforgiving circumstances he endured. In the end, Davy Jones's tale is one of heartbreak and eternal longing, painting a portrait of a man forever haunted by the memory of his loved one. Even after so many years of hatred and pain, his last words were Calypso, a powerful reminder of a love that endured even in the face of heartbreak and betrayal.